please tell me when to start?
We can start now, ma'am. Good evening. Good evening, ma'am. We can start now.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you, sir.
Late one evening, as the emperor was about to wind up his official work, a guard entered the court.
What is the matter?
Your Majesty, a pundit from the south is here to see you and Birbal.
What does he want?
He's heard a lot about your wisdom and Birbal's wit, so he's here to ask Birbal a few questions.
At this hour? We are about to retire from the day's work. But one should not disappoint a learned pundit. Allow him in.
Akbar turned to Birbal and said,
It's been a hard day at court, Birbal. Be quick with this man.
Yes, Your Majesty.
The pundit entered the court.
Accept my greetings, Your Highness.
Welcome, O great one. Heard that you wanted to ask some questions.
Yes, Your Highness.
Proceed.
The Pandit turned to Birbal.
Oh, wise Birbal, would you like to answer 100 easy questions or just a single difficult question?
The Emperor is in no mood to sit through 100 questions. Let me opt for a single question. Panditji, please ask me a single difficult question.
All right. The question is, which came first, the hen or the egg?
The moment the question was asked, Birbal had the answer.
The hen, of course.
The Pandit was now happy as he thought he had cornered Birbal.
How can you be so sure?
That, I'm afraid, is your second question, Panditji. We had agreed to answer only one question.
Ah,
The Pandit stood admiring Birbal's wit, of which he had only heard before.
I'm proud of you, Birbal. I cherish and value your loyalty and selfless service rendered to our kingdom.
So good evening to all the participants and officials from Patliputra Sahodaya School Complex for this training program on enhancing life skills and creative thinking. So dear participants, you must have understood now that how creative thinking works. And we will discuss about it, how to develop it in the students, how to use it for their everyday life and for the future so that they can lead a productive life. Now, I'm going to take some names and after that I'll again ask you some questions and you can use the chat box to write the answers. Those are small answers, nothing else. I'm just taking some names. Steve Jobs, Einstein, Steven Spielberg, Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, J.R.D. Tata, Satyajit Ray, and many others like them. Why do we remember them? We remember them because they have left an indelible mark or imprints into their work, area of work, is it not? Because of their creativity, they have created masterpieces. Now, as I took these names, what thoughts passed through your minds? I'm again taking the names: Steve Jobs, Steven Spielberg, Satyajit Ray, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, J.R.D. Tata, Michelangelo. What images did cross your mind? You must have started thinking about the great masterpieces, great work that they have done and for which we remember them, or they're remembered till now. Now, if somebody sings a song, very good song, when we think of Lata Mangeshkar, when we think of other singers, when we think of some good dancers, some good painters, you admire them, is it not? So you imagine how wonderful it must have been if I also had such talents. Is it not? हमको भी लगता है कि अगर हम भी ऐसा कर सकते तो कितना अच्छा होता. And if you have felt about those thoughts came to you, then you are not alone. ये सब में होता है. But if those thoughts came to you, did you ever acknowledge the seeds of creativity within yourself? क्या आपने ये भी सोचा कभी करे हम भी तो ट्राई करके देखते हैं, हम भी तो बोल सकते हैं, हम भी कर सकते हैं ना? And I'm giving you one more example now. Think of the SL world. Think of the Disneyland. What do? We go there, we enjoy. But what actually they used? They have used their imagination with engineering. That is Imagineering. So dear friends, so in this training program, in this 1 hour, we will discuss about how to make students combine their creativity with their knowledge, how to make it for the good use. We do it every time without acknowledging. So now see what the slides say. It is not what you do for your children, but what you have taught them to do for themselves that will make them successful human beings. What does it mean? It means that the abilities which the students will get or you will give it to them to lead a productive life. Remember, we're talking about life skills, productive life. They will help the students to improve their personal and social qualities also. That is why some people are so successful. Every one of us have the degree, but some of them are so successful. They're living a beautiful life, calm and quiet life, because they have the life skills. Now I'd request all of you to use the chat box and write down that why life skills are important. Why do you feel that teaching life skills to the students is needed? Why is it important? What is the aim of education? Nowadays we teach them life skills separately. Why? Why? Just now I said to lead them improves lives, okay? Then find solution for what? To develop their creativity, okay? To find solutions for the problems which they will face in the life. Problems are there. Yes, creativeness. Yes, to improve life quality, definitely. Enhance to make a better future all-round development. Yes. So the primary aim of education, as we said, to help them do well in their lives outside the school. Now, why has it become so important that the school has to take these type of co-curricular teaching? We are all aiming for a good job, good education, good life. That is what the primary aim of the school is. The life skills, as you all agree with me, that these are not academic subjects. Think of the time when you were small. Did the school teach you life skill as a subject? No. But now we are focusing equally on the life skills. But why? Because sometimes these are more important than the academic subjects. Because if you don't teach life skills to the students, students with all the knowledge will grow up to be hollow creatures without the feelings. They will have the knowledge, but they will not know how to do with it. So why is this stressed upon now? The first reason why is it stressed upon now is that the demands of employability has changed. Nowadays, employers are not only looking at your qualification will be the basic stepping stone for a job, but then what other qualities you can bring to the job, to the work that is given to you. So the demands of employability has changed. Competition has increased. If the competition has increased, how well do you present your presentation? The parents are busy nowadays, is it not? It is a fact in many homes nowadays that both the parents are working. The family system has broken in the sense that generations are not staying together. Generations in the sense I mean that grandparents are not staying with their grandchildren. Grandparents are, or we have moved towards the nuclear family where maybe both the parents are busy earning their livelihood that they will have to do, and the poor child is left under the care of a caretaker or sometimes left to fend for himself with the TV or nowadays even the mobile for companion. पहले क्या होता था? When the grandparents used to stay in the same family, they used to give the moral values, the life skills to the grandchildren. They used to spend quality time with them. Parents, even if they want, they cannot give the quality time except for maybe one day in a week. So we have to step in to fill that gap. We cannot let students grow up in the vacuum. We have to step into that gap. The schools will have to step into the gap to enable the students to lead a more satisfying life. Maybe the definition of success has changed. That's why. Okay, so now the life skills are the abilities for adaptive and positive behavior. Adaptive and positive. Adaptive means having a flexible approach to adjust to different circumstances. Children are adaptive. Put them in any situation, they will adapt themselves. Now, as their elder elders also, as we are the teachers, we are grown-ups, we should also be adaptable. But are we adaptable? Are we teaching the students to be adaptable? I think the pandemic has taught the students to be adaptive, us also to be adaptive. When it was the lockdown time, how we managed or how we adapted to the basic minimum requirements. So that is adaptive. And positive behavior, you should always have a positive outlook. You should always find a ray of hope, even in challenging situations. The best challenging situation that we are having now is the pandemic period. We are not sitting quietly. We are facing the challenges. We took out the online education system. We trained the students. We trained the parents. We moved ahead with the academic curriculum. We did not allow the students to lose one academic year. Is it not? So we have lived up to the challenges. So I have given you an outline of how to face the challenges or why is it necessary. Now, use the chat box once again to write down which life skills you think are important. You are teaching life skills to the students. The life skills had started a few years back. So what life skills you think should be taught to the students? Yes, resilience, compatibility. You are teaching life skills to the students, and which life skills you think are to be taught to the students? Problem solving, morality. Yes, how many life skills are there actually? As per the World Health Organization, there are 10 life skills. And these life skills are written here. See, all of these are linked to one another. Self-awareness, effective communication, more important for today's world, problem solving, critical thinking, managing emotions, decision making, coping with stress, empathy, creative thinking, and interpersonal relationships. These 10 core life skills have been identified by the World Health Organization. And how are they grouped? They are grouped under thinking skills, social skills, and emotional skills. Remember, when we were following the CCE pattern of evaluation, we had to grade the students under the thinking skills, social skills, and emotional skills. Although there were lots of material available for the teachers to know actually what these skills mean, how these 10 skills are grouped under these 3 main groups, and then what these mean, but somewhere neither the students nor the teachers were given this rigorous training to understand what it is. So we used to grade them, thinking skills, social skills, and emotional skills. It's not that the teachers did not know anything. As human beings, we know. As matured persons, we know means what it means, but exactly what it means, that was lacking. So these life skills, today we will concentrate on thinking skills, and under the thinking skills, we will concentrate on the creative thinking, how creative thinking helps us. So life skills, the key messages, why do they help? Life skills are an integral part of life. You cannot live your life productively, satisfactorily without the life skills. They are the psychosocial abilities that enable individuals to translate knowledge, attitude, and values into well-informed and healthy behavior. This is very, very important. Okay. Just knowledge will not do, as I said, they will grow up to be hollow human beings. Okay, abilities to be developed in every individual to meet the challenges of life. Yes, somebody of you had written challenges of life. Optimize opportunities to live a healthier, happier, productive, and fulfilling life. Is it not? This is what we have. The pandemic has taught us the basics of life skills. Managing life skill is the ability to identify and express oneself in life. Remember, effective communication. Most importantly, empowered with life skills, young people will be able to take a logical decision based on what to do, why to do, how to do, and when to do. This is very important. If I don't go through the correct life skill procedure, then I lose the time. That is what is when to do, how to do, that we will see. Critical and creative thinking, why to do, logical reasoning, and what to do, he will come into the problem solving area. So now let us see. All these skills are interrelated and they reinforce each other. These skills are not exclusive. Okay, some students might be having more of one life skill than the other. Like a student might be very kind, generous enough. That means he has more of empathy. The other one is more of the intellectual type. He has more of critical thinking. The other one is creative. He is writing poetry. He is turning out masterpieces for others and for himself. So a combination of these life skills are present in every individual. Together, they are responsible for our psychosocial competencies. All these 10 life skills are present in all of us, in our students, in different proportions. Now, which one is more dominant? That will depend as per the nature of the student. But can the other life skills be developed? Yes, it can be developed. Okay, a well-balanced personality, as I was saying, will have all the life skills seeded within him in proportionate manner. Okay, so this is what is important. So how do these life skills help, especially the creative thinking? So one who is a creative thinker, what he or she will do, he will have the ability to be creativity. What is creativity? Creativity is being original, imaginative, and flexible. Flexible, what it is? I will come to it in the next slide. They will raise questions and think critically. Now, are you thinking creative thinking and critical thinking are the same? We will learn in the next few slides. They will identify and analyze problems, implement well thought out decisions. And when somebody is taking the decision, the life skill will also teach him to be responsible for the decisions taken. If he passes, well and good. If he fails after taking that decision, then also he will be matured enough to handle the emotions. That's why it is written managing emotions. And when one can manage the emotions but in a better way, then one feels comfortable with one's own self. And creative persons do not copy. You will know that they are originals. Is it not? In the Supu class, there are so many creative persons, creative students. Do they copy others? No. How beautifully they take out the drawing, how beautifully they make something original. They're not a part of the group, but they stand apart. This is what the life skill is about. Now, let us see how to enhance the life skills. What are the techniques to enhance the life skill? And you all are doing this in the class. Whenever you are teaching a lesson without thinking, you are imparting some life skills. But now we will see how you are doing. Discussions. In the higher classes, you discuss about a particular topic with the students, especially in the history. You ask them for their views. Is it not? You're discussing on a topic. So that is the discussion. Debates, always students are focusing on the debates. They will express their opinions and views. Role play, sometimes we do the role play in the assembly or in our school annual functions. So sometimes even in the class also a short skit being presented by the teacher, the role play. They will understand about the character and what his or her feelings was. Brainstorming. Yes, students of the higher classes go for brainstorming. Is it not? So maybe from even the middle classes onwards, 6 onwards. Storytelling. Why do we tell stories to the students? We tell them stories to get inspired by the lives of great men. Is it not? We tell them stories to think imaginatively. And drama also we do. Next, we have the case study, especially for the higher classes. Is it not? You will give them a case study, true or imaginary, and you will ask him to describe a character. And then these are all done in the literature classes. Miming, poetry and recitals. What happens when there is a recitation competition? The students learn a poetry and how do they express themselves? They get into the feelings. Is it not? What life skill? The message of that poetry is the life skill that you will have to teach the students. Many times we leave the last line. We will teach them how to do, what to do, how to recite it properly. But if you tell them that what life skill you are teaching them, yes, use the word life skill, that through this poem, through this recitation, I want you to learn this. This is what the students then will learn better. Questions and answers. We generally do it in the moral science period. We try to find answers to them. One of the best example of question and answers is in the Mahabharata, is it not? When Yudhishthir was asked by the Yamraj, because one by one all his brothers were found senseless by beside the pond. And then Yudhishthir was asked about the life skills and all. Is it not? He answered them. What was his answer? His answers were the creativity, that, and then he was given that boon. Next is games. Games are the best life skill teaching period. What life skill? Leadership, communication. In the games period, whether it is me or you or whether it is the games teacher, we all move to the background. Is it not? It is the students and their teams and the leaders, the captains, they take the center stage, and how they communicate with their team members, how they perform as a team. Collaboration, that is collaboration. So games, working in small groups and pairs, when you give them the projects, group projects, that is what they do. Simulation, songs and dances, same as recitation, demonstration. So technique to be applied will depend on the life skills to be taught or transacted. Okay, sometimes or most of the times, do you stick to only one way of one technique of teaching? No, you are using various techniques of teaching for imparting the same lesson. So combination of techniques can also be used for imparting the life skills. Now, these are the techniques that you have known. Now, what should be the role of the teacher and the schools in imparting life skills to the students? You are teaching life skill to the student. Remember, life skill development is a lifelong process. I can also learn about life skills now. You can also learn about life skills now. And a young child is also learning about life skills because it is never static. One situation can have various reactions and everything or all will be right or correct as per the demands of the situation. So life skills development is a lifelong process. So what qualities the teacher should have? The teacher should be warm, caring, supportive. If the student comes to you, why some teachers are so popular with the students? Because whenever the students approach them with the problem, they are always ready to help them. So warm, caring, supportive, enthusiastic. Yes, enthusiastic. Students will understand whether you are an enthusiastic teacher or you are just passing your time. Resourceful, because you have to answer the students' queries. Competent and having adequate knowledge. Adequate knowledge about what? About life. Adequate knowledge about adolescents and their problems, because that is the time when the life skill will start taking the shape. Adolescents. And you have to be a positive role model for the students. Then only you can teach the life skill. It will be a challenge for you to teach, but tell me when you feel happy, when you have taught a life skill to a particular class of students or your students, and then in a challenging situation, they exhibit those life skills and they come and share it with you. That time you think, even for a fleeting second also, थोड़ा देर के लिए भी आप सोचते हैं, चलो मेरा सिखाना काम आ गया. कैसे? The adolescents में क्या होता है? People are, these students are, whether boys or girls, does not matter. They are always ready to fight. Is it not? And you are teaching them, come on, don't fight, do this. You are teaching them through various life skills. Do you see a gradual improvement in them over the years? Because this fighting starts from maybe standard 6 onwards and goes to standard 8. Is there a reduction? The largest fighting will be in standard 8. And by the time they're in standard 9, they're in the board category, so they pull down. But then gradually, if you teach them the life skills, you will find that there is an improvement in them. So you have to involve the students in this dynamic teaching learning model process. So this is what I was discussing about role of teachers, and coordinate with the parents whenever necessary. And what is the role of the school? The school has to provide a supportive environment, a structured environment, structured learning environment. Life skill teaching cannot be haphazard. Chalo, aaj tumko ye padhate hain. Aisa nahi. You have to have a syllabus for it, and how to do and how to care for the students, how to cater to the needs of all the students. Each student is not same. What you teach them. Promoting mutual respect and individual empowerment. Encouraging collaborations amongst teachers and students. That is the responsibility of the school. And strengthening community actions in the school. Community actions means, yes, as a student community, what their role should be, as a teacher community, what their role should be, and as the community of the school, what their school should be. Okay, so now this slide says that life skills are developed as a result of constructive processing of information, impression, encounters, and experiences. Okay, you have to give them that experience to the student. Experiential learning for teaching life skill is the best way of teaching life skills to the students, so that they are a part, they can make the rapid changes that occur in the course of one's own life. So you will have to focus on experiential learning to enhance the life skill teaching. So that was about an overview about the life skills. Now let us come to creative thinking. Creative thinking. As I said, all human beings are innately creative. You are creative whether you know or not. You are creative. Maybe you have not used it. It is true of everyone who expresses it, and some even who don't express it at all. Now, creativity blossoms when there is a problem to solve, is it not? Yes. And the best way to have a good idea is to have a lot of idea. Brainstorming. Remember? Yes. So now let us discuss about the creative thinking in detail and how it helps us to solve the problems. Creativity in education. Why do some students' projects fetch more marks than others? Always. What is that creativity? Have you been able to make the students understand that why your friend is scoring more than you, although both of you have written the same thing, but the way it is presented, creativity. Okay, so now let us go to the thinking skills, that is creative skills. Thinking, see, what are the 4 characteristics of the creative thinking? Fluency, flexibility, elaboration, and originality. Now, what is that fluency? Fluency is generating new ideas. How quickly you can generate new ideas. और कभी एक ही masterpiece बनाए और उसी में हम that is the end of that. No, that is not creativity. A creative person will be creative throughout his life. Look at the lyrics writers. We had good lyrics writers in this cinema. How well we remember their songs. Look at Rabindranath Tagore. How many songs he created in his own lifespan, whereas others are not able to create only even one song. So that is the fluency of idea. How quickly can you generate new ideas? Flexibility. A creative person is always flexible. That means he or she can shift their perspectives easily. How? I'm open to others' ideas. That is flexibility. Originality, as I said, creative persons don't copy others. They are original. And elaboration. Somebody has done an unfinished work. Can you complete that? Can you elaborate on that and complete it? So it involves creative thinking, involves both decision making and problem solving. Okay, by exploring the available alternatives. Remember, exploring the available alternatives and the various consequences of their actions or non-actions. Consequences of actions and non-actions. Remember what I said in the previous slide. When to do, that is when. Should I keep quiet now or should I use my creativity to solve the problem? So that is what is you will be teaching the students. Okay. So there is again a small video. Listen to it very, very carefully because it will tell you what creative thinking is actually all about.
How to improve your creative thinking. Tony Bazan is a leading expert on the brain and learning and inventor of the revolutionary mind mapping technique. Through his work in the media, Tony aims to educate the world in how to use the brain more effectively. Tony believes that everyone has the potential to be creative, and in this film, he talks about how you can find and develop your inner creativity. Step 1. Everyone is creative.
First, I want to dispel the notion that anyone, anywhere, could be not creative. We have 1 million brain cells, and they all integrate. Now, anybody with a piece of equipment like that who says, I'm not creative, is obviously making a mistake. What has happened is that they haven't been taught how to use that phenomenal piece of equipment.
Step 2. The left and right brain.
As we know, the left deals with words and numbers and lists and logic and analysis, and the right brain deals with rhythm and color and shape and form and imagination and daydreaming. It has been thought that creativity was right-brained, and because we've misanalyzed that, creativity has therefore been majorly damaged when it needs to use both sides and get the order and the number and the image and the color and the rhythm and the imagination and the daydreaming all working together. That is creativity.
Step 3. Speed of thought.
Speed of thinking. It's called fluency. How fast, how rapidly can you generate ideas? And that you can develop by just playing at it. You can practice thinking faster. You can practice, getting those little puzzles and working them out faster. And faster speed and that kind of productivity is one of the hallmarks of creative genius.
Step 4. Originality of thought.
If someone says, what could you use a coat hanger for? And you answer, for hanging a coat. That would not get you high points in creativity. If you said you could use it to fuel a rocket ship to the moon by taking the constituent molecules of that particular coat hanger and converting it into some kind of fuel, that's way out. That's what is known as thinking out of the box.
Step 5. Flexibility of thought.
Most people tend to focus on one way. This is the way I think. This is the way I see that. When it should be, how many ways can I see this from? How many perspectives can I look at it from? And the great creative thinkers play with looking at different perspectives.
Step 6. Imagination and association.
All great creative thinkers are using their imagination. What they are doing in addition to that is they're making links between things. So they are associating. So it's imagination and association, the two big key words for creativity. And what you have to do when you are being creative is to find those associations and connections between things that are going to create something new.
Yes. So, coming back to our slides. So what is creative thinking? The ability to consider something in a new way. As I said, it will bring a fresh and sometimes unorthodox approach or unorthodox perspective to the work. Okay, thinking outside the box. It shall nurture. It is a skill that anyone can nurture and develop. Involves lateral thinking. Lateral thinking means sometimes the answer is not in front, it is by the side of it. So that is lateral thinking. And involves an aha moment. What is an aha moment? That as soon as something good or creative is achieved, the creator finds a satisfaction. So that is called an aha moment. Okay, so also the ability to reflect and think independently. So now let us again go to the next one. What is creative thinking in artistic creativity? Artistic creativity, yes, we all know that you are working with some lines, you are working with colors. Where does this artistic creativity come into nowadays? Where does it? You maybe see what are the new age jobs. Maybe you are writing a logo. Maybe you are writing an advertising copy. Maybe you are creating a packaging for some product. Your artistic creativity will come there. Then creative problem solving. What is that? Creative problem solving. Creative problem solving is you have a problem. How well do you approach it? Okay, how rather than simply identifying and implementing the norm, do you find something better? So how does the crow here drink the water? It drinks the water by throwing pebbles into that jar. The level of the water rises and the crow drinks the water. and creativity in STEM. We all know what STEM is because CBSE has taught us the STEM for the last 1 year. That is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Creativity in STEMs. Yeah, creativity. Yeah, it is science. Creativity is a subject of arts. No. But nowadays, creativity in STEM is in high demand. How? You are writing an innovative new computer program. You are designing an efficient assembly line. And you are designing for a robot, or you are developing a testable hypothesis. Designing a robot. What about the adult tinkering labs? Is it not creativity inside the lab which the students are doing? So that is creativity in the STEM. So STEM fields needs creativity to flourish and grow. This is very, very important. Science is not static. It has become creative now. So now what the crow is doing? The crow, instead of working so much hard, it will just put that straw into that jug and draw the water. So that is creativity. The crow has become creative. So we all have to become creative nowadays. Okay, so everybody has the creative potential, as I was saying, and this is by Paulo Coelho. Everybody has a creative potential, and from the moment you can express it, you can start changing the world. Now, what are the characteristics of creative thinker? What you have to teach the students? You will have to teach the students to examine the things very, very carefully, to know exactly what the problem is, to have a good knowledge about the problem, whether it is really a problem or whether it is a perception. So that analysis. Okay, next is the student. You should tell the students to set aside any assumptions that he might be having and look at things in a completely new way. He should be open to criticism also. Somebody is criticizing him or her, so he should be open to criticism, and he should welcome new and unique ideas. That means he has to be open-minded. Next comes, so when he is faced with a problem, he will give the solutions. Okay, what are the ways to find the problem? What is the problem solving method? Remember, we had the problem solving session once. What you have to organize the things, you have to find out the answers, you will not judge it. You will evaluate the answer in the fourth step, and then you will find whether it is working or not. So that is problem solving. Creative thinkers are also risk takers, willing to face challenges, because sometimes their ideas might work, sometimes their ideas may not work. Think about the STEM. Sometimes their ideas will work, sometimes it may not work. So what they will do? They will go and sulk? No. Resilience in the student. Somebody had written resilience in the beginning. So resilience is very, very important. Creativity and organization. Just now you saw the slide. There was a mind map. The whole page was, something was written, scribbled. I could not understand. You cannot understand. The person who has done it will understand. That is his organization. But he has to organize his ideas and present it in a better way so that others can learn. So that is called organization. They can follow through your vision. You have to organize the ideas. You cannot be disorganized. Then if somebody has brought a new idea, if somebody is suggesting for a change, somebody is asking me to nudge the tune a little bit so that it will become very catchy. As a creative person, I should be accepting that. So I have to be extremely flexible. And I have to be good collaborator because I have to work in a team. Okay, it might be my idea, but who will take that idea to the public at large? It will be the team, the collaborator. And then they have to be efficient communicators so that whatever they are writing it should go to the public in a proper way, to the better communicators. They should have strong writing and oral communication skills. Only writing and oral communication skills? No, they should also have the good listening skills also, because when they are listening, good listeners, they will be getting ideas from others, because ideas people don't generally give. When you talk, you take out the ideas. So here this slide represents what are the main characteristics of creative people: analytical, open-minded, problem solving, organization, and communication. Okay, so now let us differentiate between creative thinking and critical thinking. What is the difference between creative thinking and critical thinking? Okay, creative thinking. What are the facts and fiction? Fiction is every problem has only one solution. Okay, the fact is, as it is written here, if the solution works, then it is a good solution. Come to the next one. What are the different ways of traveling nowadays? We started with the horse riding, we started with bullock cart, we moved to the wagons, we moved to the trains, we moved to the car, we moved to the aeroplane, we are using the space shuttle. What more? Maybe something more. So best answer or solution or method has already been discovered? No, it is still to be discovered. Every problem has only one solution. I'm giving you one more example. What are the different ways of communication or jotting down your thoughts? You have the pen, the paper, the chalk, the blackboard, the word processor, the mobile, the computer. You can even record your voice. So if it helps you to solve, if it works, that is a good solution. Creative answers are technologically complex. No. Sometimes it works with very few simple tools. Ideas either come or they don't. That means you are talking about a creativity block, the blank page. So here comes creative people, they generate lots of ideas. You will have to think and create ideas. If you have a mental block, then you cannot be a creator. So this is what is difference between the fact and the fiction in creative thinking. Okay, and how is creative thinking linked to education? Because that is what we have to do. How is it linked to education? The first creative thinking is remember. Very easy. What I remember? What do I remember? Because now the assessment pattern has changed. Earlier it used to be, come on, define, recollect, recall, match the following and all. Okay, so first is remember. Very easy. Draw on the past knowledge. Then is understanding. In the familiar situation, you are giving them to find the answers. They will easily find the answers. Okay, apply. Can I put the ideas into application? Can I practice them in the familiar situation? That is what is applied. Till now, the assessment was based on remember, understanding, applying. Sometimes it went to analyze. And the moment you give the analyzing questions, only the students with high IQ attempted those with the low IQ said, it's very tough. It is out of the syllabus. Is it really out of the syllabus? Or are you just asking them to rewire the brains to start thinking? So that is what. Okay, analyze. Evaluation. Evaluation is again a higher order thinking. Whatever analysis you have done, you evaluate it, whether it is working or not, and then you create. Okay, then you create. Because nowadays, as I said, the assessment pattern has changed. I will just explain it a little more. Earlier, the teachers never used to adopt such methods. See, nowadays, look at the pattern of the board question paper also. They will give you a, is it really that, okay, you write the answers, direct questions? No, nowadays questions are not direct. They are giving you some situations, some problems and asking you to connect whatever you have learned in the class in this, understand, apply. They're asking you to analyze, evaluate, and create. Maybe creation is not there, but at least up to evaluate. Earlier, how you used to do? The traditional ways of assessment included what? Typical test, summative assessment. Nowadays, we say continuous assessment. So is the student appearing for the exams daily? No, that is not the way. His report card will carry how he behaves, how he thinks, how he manages his emotions. So that will give you a holistic, complete report card about the student. And this is what the student is supposed to know. So now, what is the importance of creative thinking? What is the importance of creative thinking? Tell me, how can you become a good creative thinker and how will it help your student also? The importance of creative thinking, as I said, dear teachers, you are preparing generations of students. If you are in a teaching job for 30 years, you have prepared 3 generations of citizens. And the way you teach them, the way you coach them, the way you transfer your skills to the students, that will define what the future of the country or the future of the student will be. How the student is presenting the project work, creativity, what is it doing in the robotics class, what is it doing in the mindfulness class, what is it doing for the Minecraft class. Nowadays, lots of these white hat junior and all those are coming for teaching coding to the students. What is that coding? That is also creativity. That is also creativity. So remember, again I have brought back, is creativity so difficult? How did we learn creativity? We heard about the tales of Mullah Nasiruddin. We heard about the tales of Akbar Birbal. At the beginning of the session, I showed you one video on Akbar Birbal and another on another creativity. Mullah Nasiruddin. So this as was carrying the sack full of salt, and it was so heavy. He was angry on his master. What did he do? He is so clever. The ass is so clever that he went into the. Where did he go? He entered the river, and the salt melted. Okay, and then his load was decreased and he became very happy. So Mullah Nasiruddin being Mullah Nasiruddin, what did he do? Next day, instead of loading salt, he loaded the sacks with sand. And the moment that ass entered into the river again to have that trick, what did it do? It increased the weight of that. So that is creative thinking. Akbar Birbal, we all know the wit of Birbal. How, remember Birbal ki khichdi? How he conveyed the decision to Akbar. Akbar punished a man saying that it was very cold. So, okay, you look at that lamp which is burning in that tower. And then he was cooking one day a porridge. And then Akbar crossed by and said, how can you cook a khichdi like that, a porridge like that, when the flame is so low below? So just like you do that, you tell that man to get that. And not only that, remember we had those, when we were growing up, we had those, bujo to jane and all those type of things. Do you know? Nowadays also it comes. Make the habit of the students to go through them, because that is the way they learn critical or creative thinking. Those answers are really creative, is it not? So the stories of our childhood will help a great deal to understand how creativity is applied in everyday life. Students have forgotten, they have gone to the mobiles. So now let me ask you a question, 2 questions in fact, and let us see how your creativity comes. Now here is that question. One day, again, it is an Akbar Birbal question. Okay. One day, Akbar asked Birbal to give his daughter one single item. जब उसको भूख लगे तो वो उसको खा सकती है, उसको प्यास लगे तो पी सकती है, और जब ठंड लगे तो उसे जला भी सकती है. What is that? What did Birbal give to Akbar's daughter? What was that? Think. Ah, coconut, I got the answer. Good. मजा आता है ये सब. Next is, again, Akbar Birbal. Okay. So one day, one king, he had heard about Birbal's wit. He wanted to test him himself. So what did he do? He called Birbal to his court, but then what? He had not seen Birbal. Birbal actually had not met the king. So he did not know who the king was. And the king, the 6 of them dressed up in identical costume. But Birbal handed the gift to the king only. How did Birbal know who was the king? Who was the king? The king was sitting with all his 6 people looking similar. Is it not? We play this type of things. How? Because the other people were looking at the king to see his reaction, how he behaves. And the king, being confident, he was not looking at anybody. So Birbal understood who is the king, and then he presented the gift to him. So that is what we do, is it not? So creative thinking, bring back the fun which you had in your childhood for the students. That is the way to learn creativity, and that is lost now. We have lost our Amar Chitra Kathas, we have lost our Panchatantra, we have lost everything To what? To the TV, to the mobile, to the unnecessary chattering that goes on in the school. And if you bring creativity things, creative teaching back to the students' life, it will enrich their life also. So let us now come to see benefits of creative thinking. Remember, I had told that the employability has changed. So if you are creative, you will be a perfect employee, because employers nowadays are looking for something who can give them more than only solutions. Personal satisfaction. A creative person is very, very personally satisfied. Okay, solving problems efficiently, it will come with creativity. Gain freedom, what is that? Because see, as you have taught them, the students, to be open-minded, they won't be prejudiced and biased while interacting with the world. They will be open-minded, so they will be having more freedom to interact with the world. It will increase their self-awareness also, definitely, because he will be exposed to different types of thoughts. Emergence of an innovator. Definitely, creative thinking, critical thinking, problem solving will all give rise to innovator. Earn and respect, create a difference in the society, more confidence, increase in self-confidence, and overall success. Creative people are overall successful. Now, as I said, what is the difference between critical thinking and creative thinking? See, critical thinking will work on the ideas that already exist. क्रिएटिव थिंकिंग विल क्रिएट समथिंग न्यू एंड यूनिक, जो था ही नहीं, क्रिएटिव थिंकिंग ने उसको बना दिया. क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग इज एनालिटिकल, दे विल एनालाइज व्हाटएवर इज प्रेजेंट. क्रिएटिव थिंकिंग विल जनरेट न्यू आइडियाज. It is based on probability and is convergent. It will try to bring all towards the solution. On this creative thinking, people will throw that original idea out of the window. It is divergent. It will create something new. So using accepted ideas, concepts, and principles, creative thinking, people refuse the known and widely accepted principles. Critical thinking, remember the video, uses left part of the brain. Creative thinking flourishes on the right side of the brain. And these are the steps, other adjectives: logical, sequential, objective, reality-based, judgmental, closed-ended. They will close that problem through critical thinking, that this is correct. Creative thinking are open-ended. They're fantasy-based. Sometimes daydreaming is good. It will lead you to creative thinking. Imaginative and intuitive. Okay, just giving you one example. We have all seen the film Bahubali. Great effects, na? With VFX effects. Kitna acha film tha. But would you call that creativity? Would you call the VFX effects of the film creativity? Yes or no? I just want yes or no. VFX, no, no, no. That is not creativity, because whatever technology you put, without that storyline, it would not have been creative. Not only that storyline, how it was marketed. They first took out the concluding part and left with the question, Katappa ne Bahubali को क्यों मारा? Where is that answer? So look for that answer. Look at the advertising strategy. Look at the marketing strategy. That to find that answer to that question, we went to the second part of the film. So creativity works for economics also. So that is creativity. We all went to find the answer. The Katappa ne Bahubali ko kyun mara? That is what we wanted to know. So ways to improve creative thinking, we have already seen that: mind mapping, brainstorming, lateral thinking, reframing, role play, welcoming the new, being social, and all. So these are the final thoughts before we end this session. See, as Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam says, when learning is purposeful, creativity blossoms. When creativity blossoms, thinking emanates. And when thinking emanates, knowledge is fully lit. And when knowledge is lit, economy flourishes. So creativity is important for today's 21st century skills. You cannot survive without creativity. You cannot be an exceptional employee without being creativity. Otherwise, you will be just a part of the crowd. You will not stand apart. So, and that is also stressed upon in the NEP 2020. So creative thinking has become a very fundamental life skills for all of us to learn and implement. Can students learn to be creative? Yes, they can learn to be creative. They can train their brains to be creative. And you are the trainer. Remember that you are the architect of their life. So thank you all for staying with me in this session. If you have the questions, we can just discuss it now. Otherwise, I will bring this session to the end. Thank you all for staying with me once again.